Okay, so we're going to start now with active movements of the wrist and hand. So we're dealing, first of all, we're dealing with the radiocarpal joint, and then we'll move into the thumb and fingers. So starting with the wrist first of all, we're going to look at the different movements across using the couch in this position. So Neil is seated, he's got his elbow relaxed on the bed, and you need to get the height of this appropriate so that their arm can nice and easily rest, and they're not in a cramped position in any case. So what we're going to do, Neil, is I'd like you to just follow me with some of these movements. If you could just turn your hands, your thumb is facing upwards for me. And what I'd like you to do is with the palm of your hand, you're going to take it towards the front of your wrist here, bringing it in as far as you possibly can go. That's it. And then take it out for me, all the way out towards the back of your forearm, and all the way again back forward to the front. That's it, and then back to the middle. And relax. So what we would do then is we would now do this on the injured side. So we can have a comparison, and also with the wrist and hand we can also do both arms at the same time after that, so you can see any differences a little bit clearer. But for the sake of these videos we're just going to work on this one side. So now we're going to move on to radial and ulnar deviation. So if you could turn your hand down for me now. That's it. So again the forearm's nice and relaxed in this position. We're again going to have movement of the radiocarpal joint. So just with your hand in that position, try not to use your fingers too much, just trying to get the movement occurring here. What I'm going to ask you to do is to move your whole hand towards the thumb side, as far as you can towards this side of your forearm for me. That's it, keeping your hand in contact with the bed, and then take it all the way out the other way. That's it, so it's just like it's a wave, and then all the way across again back towards the thumb. Okay, so towards the thumb is towards the radius, this is radial deviation, and coming the other way towards the ulnar is then ulnar deviation. And relax for me. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the thumb. So if you turn your hand over this way. So the thumb in terms of evolution is different in humans because it is rotated through 90 degrees when compared to the fingers. So the fronts of the fingers are here. So this would be flexion, would be coming up this way. Whereas in the thumb, so if you just look at the nail is pointing sideways, whereas the nail of the fingers is pointing downwards. So in fact, because it's rotated, that's what gives us the ability to grip and manipulate things, because we can bring our fingers and thumbs together. So in this situation here, therefore, flexion and extension of the thumb is the surface of the thumb coming across as close as it can to the palm of the hand. So with this thumbnail, if you just relax for me, I'd just like to take this part of the thumb across and towards here as far as you possibly can, keeping it as close as you can to your hand. That's it. And then all the way back the other way, and all the way back across for me. So that's full range flexion and extension. So we'll just have a look at the other side as well, so you can see it coming towards the camera. So again, same thing, this part of the thumb is going to come all the way across the hand towards this side for me, Neil. So just bring it all the way across so it's nice and close to the surface of the hand, and then all the way back out as far as you possibly can, come all the way across again. So that's full range flexion, full range extension. You can see that nice and clear on those two. Okay, next up we're going to go with abduction and adduction. So because, again, the thumb is rotated through 90 degrees, if this is flexion and extension, ab and adduction is 90 degrees to that, which means it's going to come upwards and downwards. So coming up is coming away, therefore upwards would be abduction, abduction, coming towards would be ADD, adduction. Okay, Neil, so if you'd like to just, with your thumb there, just take it up towards my thumb as far as you possibly can, and then all the way back down towards the bed as far as you can, and all the way back up again. Okay, so that's abduction and adduction, full range. Next we're going to look at thumb opposition, and this is a specialist movement that the hand can do. So for the purpose of the video, we're going to sort of swap hands so we can see a little bit clearer. So if you just show me your other hand, perfect. So with opposition, what we're aiming to do is get the thumb to do a combination of movements and to come in contact with the front tip of all of the digits. Okay, so the thumb here, Neil, what I'd like you to do is like to bring it up and over in an arc towards the little finger, and then up and back over again, and relax, and then up and over again to this finger, and up and over and back, up and over to this finger, and back, and up and over to your index finger, and back again. Okay, so you need to go through for each one of those, and it needs to be a very deliberate movement of each and every one with the thumb following that arc, because that's true opposition. Okay, so we're going to move into movement of the fingers now. So we're going to start on this side. So if we just have your hand this way, so we're in the mid-prone position, thumb at the top. So what we're going to try and do is get movement, first of all, flexion and extension at the metacarpophalangeal joint, and towards the end we're going to get movement at the proximal and distal interphalangeal joints. So Neil, what I'd like you to do first of all is just at this joint here is just try and bend your fingers as far as they can whilst keeping this part of your finger straight. Good. Now if you curl this round as far as you possibly can, good, so it's in like a fist position, then straighten those out as much as you can and bring all of the fingers all the way back as far as you can, good, and then back again, so it's bend and curl, and then straighten, and then all the way back out again. Good, and relax. And of course we could compare that with both sides doing a bilateral comparison. Last movement then in the fingers, if we place our hand down, so we now also have ab and adduction, and again this is at the metacarpophalangeal joint, so your knuckles in here. So what I'd like you to do, just with your hand placed down, fingers together, is just to spread your fingers apart as far as they possibly can go, and then take your fingers back together again, and then out as far as they can go, and then back together again, and relax. Okay, and that concludes the active movements of the wrist and hand.